Hey there guys, what's going on? My name is Sumedh Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means I help you feel better and perform better. Guys, you can't put a butterfly inside of a jar and expect it to thrive. Jealousy, it keeps blocking your flow state. Jealousy keeps blocking your flow state over and over again. Why? Because it's this comparison trap again. Right? If you're a skier and you're noticing on how all the skiers are doing better than you, you're going to crash. You're going to have a poor performance. You're focusing on everybody else but besides yourself. Because what is jealousy really, right? It gets triggered so much by social media, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all this kind of stuff, because everybody has these fake highlight reels up, right? And we see them and then we feel insecure or jealous. You see, jealousy, underneath that jealousy is just insecurity. So once we can recognize that and we can take the aggressiveness away from jealousy, all we see is that it's a way for us to go beyond the self. When somebody's getting really jealous at something, it's just a sign of insecurity. I got jealous that one of my ex-girlfriends danced with a guy that I knew was one of my friends. It was because he had a six-pack, right? And I was not very happy with my body then. Had I had a better six-pack than him, I probably wouldn't have reacted to that situation. But I felt a sense of loss. I felt a sense of insecurity. I'll be honest. In that moment, I felt this sense of insecurity, and so I was jealous. But is that jealousy, did it really help me? It didn't. I messaged the guy, I got really annoyed. It sparked some kind of argument. It's better if there was no argument to begin with and that there was honest communication between us, right? So the thing is, your little jealousy, your little jealous moment, you're zooming in on it, thinking it's all this big deal. If you look at the grand masterpiece of your life, the bigger picture, that little jealous moment has nothing to do with you. And I'm not saying this is an identity trait, because I know I'm a Scorpio and I experience jealousy as much as any water sign probably does. But not even that necessarily. You know, when we act on jealousy, we like to wallow in it. We like to dwell in it. We like to stay there. We feel threatened, less than, or not good enough. And so we react. We fear that someone else's strengths means something negative about us. Do you notice the ego gratification there? And the thing is, the flow state is all about selflessness, right? So if you can make it less about yourself, you can actually get into the flow state. However, if you constantly get like jealousy take control of you, it's gonna pull you through to various directions. You see, I'm not denying my jealousy. I notice it as a feeling, just like any other feeling. I'm giving it the respect and the space that it needs. But I'm not wallowing in it. I'm not dwelling in it. I mean, this was a process. This was something that I had to overcome within myself. Imagine jealousy, envy, or even greed stripped of this kind of drive, this aggressiveness. If the sense of our own inadequacy simply becomes a phase, a portal for us to pass through, and we feel a little bit of jealousy, that is actually great because it's a refinement process. That little moment where we're triggered or jealous, it can teach us about ourselves. All this energy we put into comparing and contrasting ourselves, finding the others better and ourselves wanting, can be channeled into reaching beyond ourselves, reaching beyond our own limits. Because hey, it might remind us of our flaws or inadequacies, but that's a good thing, right? That means that that's something you can work on. That's a spotlight that you can expose into the public and be like, it's gone now. I don't have to have it weighing me down like a burden. Okay? So the mindset that I want you to think of is it's a transcendent experience. It's shattering the ego mind, and it's everything to gain, nothing to lose. This is something that you can actually repeat to yourself like a mantra. Everything to gain, nothing to lose. 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 I want you to leave that in the comments below. If you've heard me, if you heard this message in this video, I want you to write that. If you really hear me, and if this resonates with you. Everything to gain, nothing to lose. When you recognize that you have nothing to lose, loss is just a figment of your imagination. We might lose a friendship, but was it really a loss? Was it a benefit? Or maybe they weren't meant to be your friend. Maybe you've leveled up now. Was it really a loss? You lost a parent. No, they just transformed. Death is just a transformation. They're still with you, they're just not physically there with you. Or I lost some weight. Well, okay, you didn't really lose it, did you? You just maintained a healthier size. and you ate better and you changed things around. So you see, loss just by itself, this idea of loss is just a negative, unproductive way of thinking about things, okay? That's what I'd like to say. And basically, I want you to practice a very, very reflective visualization and meditation, which I'm about to give you, okay? This can be done very simply, but I want you to imagine like you go to a shop or a store, or maybe there's a store window, or it could even be like a museum, okay? And you're just looking at this amazing, beautiful object. It's shiny, it's something that you really want, something that you truly desire, okay? And just sit and stand and admire the object for a minute. Now let the feelings of desire increase. Feel the longing to grasp and possess it. It's mine. I want it. Now simply let those feelings go. Just abruptly let it go. It's gone. Now do the same process again. And again. And again. And again. Until you recognize, wait a minute, yo, life is temporary. Until you get there and that something hits inside of you, you're like, I'm able to embrace this object for what it is. I'm able to observe it for what it is. Beautiful, brilliant, amazing, flawless, without needing to be possessed by me. Without needing to be protected by me. It can rip your soul out, tear it to shreds, light it on fire, and expect you to go on. But with the right perseverance, the right guidance, and a little bit of willpower, anything can be overcome in this life, and that includes jealousy, my friends. That's no exception. There's no exception to that rule. Fundamentally, what it comes down to is you have to cut off contact with your jealousy. Not the person that you're jealous of, mind you, but the jealousy is yourself. Think of your jealousy as a character. If it was like a Disney villain, what would that jealousy look like? You know, desperation has always been this kind of unattractive quality. So you really want to ask yourself, if you were to chase your shadow, you know you're never going to catch it. If you turn your back to the shadow, if you have a willingness to walk away, a detachment from the outcome, then you start noticing, if you're walking the other way, your shadow starts following you. And that's just like a weird law of the universe. And if you guys are watching this video right now, I actually have a book coming out. Okay, if you want to pre-order, press the link in the bio, and I will get you to pre-order the book, because it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to change everything for you, because this is really about behavior modification using acting techniques. This is something that I've worked on for 4 years, and this can really, really help you out. And it's very, very cheap. If you pre-order it, go and press that button right now. If you're the type of person that takes action. If you're not, that's cool. I don't want you to read it anyway. But if you are, and you resonate with this message, and you want to learn more, you want to learn how to combine the power of theater and the power of psychology together, that's the book for you. You know, fundamentally, when you've cut off that contact with that jealousy, funnily enough, you know, all the good women who were worthwhile came back to me, sort of just like harder than ever before. Why? Because it's simple. They understand that as a man, you're capable of taking rejection and moving on. That's what a man does. A man takes rejection and they move on. They're not attached to it. They're not attached to the outcome. It doesn't faze you. Why? Because you're a rock. You're a freaking mountain. You just are who you are. And you're indifferent to any of the forces of the universe trying to knock you down. And that, my friends, is true attractiveness. And that, my friends, is living in a flow state. Really aligning to your higher purpose. I hope this video helps you out today. Have an amazing day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary.